All right, so we are joined by Velma Jackson Alum, Erica Hines, the owner of Everything Extra, also executive assistant at the Mississippi Free Press, graduate of Belhaven, marketing expert. We are in the marketing career cluster, and we thank you so much for joining us. I've got a room full here with us at your alma mater, Velma Jackson High School, and we're recording this for all of our friends in Madison County Schools, Rosa Scott, Madison Central, Ridgeland High School, Germantown High School, and the Academic Options Center, and our YouTube channel. So, as always, we thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So before we get into all of your marketing career, which has really been quite impressive, like I said, you are a graduate. I won't tell them the year. You are a graduate of Velma Jackson High School. So you grew up in the Camden area. So take us through your high school experience and how you transitioned into Belhaven.
Okay. I don't mind telling the year. I'm pretty proud of. I'm a graduate of Velma Jackson, class of 1998. Um, I grew up actually off 16. A lot of people know my neighborhood as the Sub. I grew up in the Sub. My parents actually still live in the Sub. Um, but I went to Luther Branson. Of course, at that time when I was going to school, it was only Luther Branson and Velma Jackson. So went to Luther Branson for elementary school. Went to Velma Jackson from 6th to 12th grade. Left there. Did everything I could while I was there. Had fun. Made sure I was in all the clubs. Beta club, everything, any and every club that I could get in while I was in school, I did it. I made the best of my high school years and had fun while doing it. And then I graduated from there and of course went to Belhaven, graduated from Belhaven. I didn't go straight to Belhaven. I had a little detour. I left Velma Jackson. I went to Holmes first. Um,
Okay.
in the
I
midst of
forgot.
me going to Holmes, right. In the midst of me going to Homes, I did start Belhaven, but at that time I started my family. I have two boys. They are 24 and 18. So I started my family and then went back to Belhaven while working. I was married, two kids, working full time in marketing, and I went back to Belhaven and got my degree as an adult student. And then been in the workforce the whole time while getting my degree. And like I say, I was working in marketing while getting my degree. At that time I was working for McAllister's Deli in their marketing department, and doing any and all things marketing for McAllister's. If you everything you see at McAllister's, from the menu boards to the menus, all those things, any commercials you see, the social media, marketing is so much, and can be in so many different fields. Not only that, after leaving McAllister's, because McAllister's actually left here and moved to Atlanta, and I didn't want to uproot my family, couldn't uproot my family at that time. So I went to American Cancer Society. So again, totally different field. I went from a restaurant to a nonprofit, you know what I'm saying? But I was in marketing. And at that time, I was able to come back to Canton and do Relay for Life events in Canton and promote those events in Canton and in other areas across the state. I traveled across the state and did Relay for Life events and promoted those events. So again, another area of marketing that people don't really think about when they talk about marketing. Most people think about the television advertisement and things like that when they think of marketing, but this was me getting people to support the cause, letting people know why it's important to support cancer.
Yeah, and
Left
you also worked
there.
at Magnolia Federal Credit Union as well.
I worked at Magnolia Federal Credit Union. So again, totally different industry, you know what I'm saying? But all still marketing. Worked there just briefly, promoting banking. And now here I am, an executive assistant part time for uh, uh, Mississippi Free Press while still running my own business. I've been running my own business since full time since 2019. I do t-shirts. I make t-shirts. I do all kind of crafts and things, and then I also do marketing for small businesses. So I run Facebook pages and things for small businesses, giving them time to, I always say that I give them time to focus on the main part of the business while I handle things behind the scenes. That way they can focus on their revenue while I manage things behind the scenes. So I do um, press releases, anything they need me to do as far as marketing on the back end. I do that for different small businesses around the area.
Absolutely. And we're definitely going to get into the entrepreneurship side because that's something I like to talk about. But when it comes to marketing,
Okay.
I know in your case, a degree was very important to you, and obviously there's some great business and marketing programs in the state of Mississippi. Belhaven is one for sure. Jackson State really has a great marketing program. Ole Miss,
Hey,
um,
yes,
all of them have great marketing programs. So there are degree paths in marketing, but also this is not a field you necessarily have to have a degree to be successful in. Sales,
you
if you
don't.
can sell anything, you can be successful in this field. And I
You
was
can't.
before you came on, I was talking about, even just the personal selling skills. It's not all, having to design all the stuff that you design, having the personal selling skills in a business. Small things like walking in a room and introducing yourself, selling yourself as an employee. All of that is
Yes,
marketing, and then it can translate into a great career because you don't have a restaurant background, but you can promote a restaurant. You don't have a cancer background, but you can
exactly,
promote a nonprofit. You're not have a finance background, but you can promote a bank. So being able to
exactly.
promote things is not necessarily, because we have kids on the fence about college. I get it. It's way more expensive than it was when we were in school. So
It
if it's
really
not
is.
something that you see yourself really, really focused on, you can be successful in this field without going that route.
You sure can. Marketing is like you say, any and everything that you can imagine. As long as you can sell yourself, like you say, and be able to talk again, like you say, introducing yourself in a room. I tell people to have their elevator pitch. Even about yourself, be able to pitch yourself, even going into an interview. You're marketing yourself when you go into an interview for a job, you're marketing yourself. So you have to be able to sell yourself also. So that's even marketing. Marketing is included in so many aspects of our lives that most people don't realize. Like I said, when you go into an interview, even if you're not going for a marketing position, you're still marketing yourself to that organization to be able to get that position, and to prove to them that you're the best candidate for that position. So you still have to have those marketing skills and be able to, like you say, sell yourself. Sales, sales and marketing, it works hand in hand. You don't have to have graphic design or be able to use those different programs to be able to be in marketing. There are so many different positions in marketing that a person could be in and not ever touch a graphic design software or things like that. Because usually when people think of marketing, that's what they think about. They think about the graphic design aspect of it. But it's so many different positions in marketing, like you say, sales, and things that you wouldn't even imagine. And you never have to touch those different softwares or never. And you can go to a trade school or a junior college, a community college or something, or to be able to have those. And there are some, like you say, some people don't want to go to the college route, and there still are sales and marketing positions that they can obtain by doing it.
Yeah, and I hear a lot of kids say, and this is not just, I'm not directing this to anybody in the room with me. I'm just saying a lot of this generation, they say, well, I want to do hair, or I want to drive trucks. That's fine, and we need those people, but you've got to have marketing skills in those. If I walk into somebody to get my hair done, they got to be able to talk to me about how the hair's going to get done. If I walk in to get my car
Exactly.
fixed, they have to explain to me what's wrong with my car and sell me on what needs to be done to fix it. So it's not just only marketing positions, marketing skills. And I'm not big on offering opinions, but I'm really passionate about this because marketing and sales is so important when it comes to young
Right.
people because they're caught in their phones and social media. They lose the face-to-face selling that is vital for anyone to do business.
You're so correct. But even with that aspect, because so many of them, I know a lot of us don't like that they're in their phones and things like that. But because so many of them are in their phones and things, they can actually be successful in marketing with that. Because think about it, social media and things like that. And there are so many different apps and things that promote marketing and things. So they still could be successful just from their phones. Many times I tell people, especially even when I'm not here at MFP, I run my business from my phone. I'm doing marketing from my phone. I could be out enjoying on a vacation with my family, but I'm still doing marketing for my clients by putting out their social media and things. So they still could be successful from the phone and in marketing. But at the same time, like you say, um, we do need to put our phones down and focus on. For instance, my best friend April Ilps is a awesome makeup artist. April still has to promote herself and know she knows makeup, but at the same time she still has to be able to talk to people
Yep.
and get those jobs and put herself out there and be able to get those different weddings and those different movie contracts that she's now working on. She still have to be able to promote herself, even though she's doing makeup. She still have to be able to promote herself to be able to get those different positions in the makeup industry.
Yeah, and that's a great segue because that's what I want to talk about next is, we really hit on, and just because it's what I teach as well, I'm really big on entrepreneurship, but knowing the realities of entrepreneurship. So many kids always say, well, I want to be my own boss. I want to set my own hours. That's great, but they don't understand the fact that the amount of work it takes,
You
and it's
work
not
even
just
harder.
yeah, and I know they get sick of me, and I know everybody gets tired of me saying this, but I think the perfect example is I'm a huge fan of Jasmine Sullivan, but in her song, she talks about I'm just going to move to Atlanta, open a business, and be rich. I'm like, it doesn't work like that.
It
And
doesn't
I
work
think
like
that's an unrealistic expectation because everybody sees the glamorous side. We mentioned the Insta. There's people that do an unbelievable job marketing on Instagram, but they don't know the business side of it. So
right.
I know you've been in business for yourself and you've been quite successful. Everything extra, and we'll get the information out on that before we get done here. But when you made that decision to go into business for yourself and you still work part-time. So that's something that's a lot of people don't understand. A lot of entrepreneurs are holding down at least a part-time regular job.
Right. That is so true. Yes, I work for myself, but when you're working for yourself, you have to work 10 times harder for yourself than you do when you're just going to punch a clock. Because when you're going to punch a clock, you have that's guaranteed. You're gonna go in, do your 8 hours, and you're guaranteed that check, at the end of the pay period. Well, me working for myself, there's not a guarantee. There are some days, maybe even some weeks that business may be slow. My income fluctuates from time to time, which is why I made the decision, to work part time because it's not always guaranteed, and bills are still coming. I still have a family to support or whatever. Of so when those times come when things are slow, I still have something to fall back on as far as the part time job. But people do, and even I, my children look at it as, oh, I want to work for myself. I have an 18-year-old now who is getting ready to graduate in May, and his thing is same thing. I just want to work for myself. I don't, I'll do this on my own. And I'm like, you are in the house with your mother who you see up 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes working, or getting up super early in the morning to be able to work and get things done. It's not easy. I don't want to discourage anyone from doing it. It's very rewarding if it's something you love. I do something I love. I get up every day and I'm able to do something I love. So I'm motivated to keep going, and I'm motivated to those long hours. I don't get discouraged. I don't get discouraged all the time. I'm not gonna say I don't get discouraged because sometimes you do get discouraged. But you have to remember your why. That I tell people that all the time. You remember your why. When you're doing this, you have to remember your why. And you keep reminding yourself of your why, and that will motivate you to keep going. Entrepreneurship is hard. You have some people that get into it, and of course, business takes off, and like you say, can make the big bucks, make millions. Find something and can make. But then there those of us. There are so many of us that don't get that chance to immediately become rich from whatever you're doing, and you have to work extremely hard, because if you don't work hard you don't get paid, basically. If you don't get up every day and do what you're supposed to do, yes, you make your own hours, but if you go days without working, that's days you have that you're not bringing in money. So, you still have to work, even on vacation. I take vacation with my children. Like I said, I'm still on my phone. Every now and then, I'm still on my phone. I'm still working because if I don't work, the bills are still coming in. So I still have to work. I still have to find that time to work. So it honestly, there's never a time that you're just truly, truly off. You're still thinking about it. Whereas when you go in and you go clock in, when you take your PTO or whatever, you can actually be off from that job when you're working for someone else. You can't do that when you're working for yourself. You can't
Absolutely.
completely
Now,
turn it off.
Not talking, especially since COVID, these small businesses like yours have really come alive to help. You're in the business of helping small businesses. So it's like an entrepreneur helping an entrepreneur because people say, look, I want to open my own business, but I'm not really good at this marketing stuff. But we just said, it's something that's extremely vital. So talk about some of the things you provide as a business owner that specializes in marketing.
So the things I do for small businesses is I do social media. I handle their social media, any of their marketing. I provide marketing pieces such as their business cards, flyers. I'll even go in and sometimes when paid the right thing, I'll go in to some of their meetings and be able to do some of their meetings to speak about their organizations or their
Wow.
companies for them. But for the most part, most small businesses really just need that help with social media. Since that is, the biggest thing for us now, getting their name out there on social media and being able to run those social media pages and making sure the content is being put out there on a regular basis. Because entrepreneurship is so hard and the small businesses a lot of times don't have a lot of employees and they're having to do it themselves. They don't have the time for social media to be able to do that social media marketing. So that's where I come in. I come in with helping them with getting their information set up on Google. So when Google searches are done for a particular company, their company can be in the top of the list to be able to be found by companies. Just things like that people don't really think about when they first start a business. They just think about, oh, I know how to do this. I'm going to do it, not really how am I going to market it? Can I get a radio ad or, I may write a press release about what they have going on so they can get media coverage about what they have going on. So I do so much for different small businesses around the area. I have small
Yeah.
businesses from, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say,
I
when
have small business from,
I
uh
think we got a little bit of a lag. I'm sorry. No, I
yeah,
was just going to say, when you see this stuff designed, people like you say, look, you're trying to sell to this group, so let's do something that appeals to that group.
right. We always have to think about the demographics that you're trying to market to. And then once we figure out that target demographic, then we figure out the best way to get to that target demographic. So, and sometimes social media may not be, depending on the age, social media may not be that, for that demographic that you're trying to reach. It may be print media, a print ad somewhere or radio ad, for depending on what age group you're trying to do. And then even with social media, um, there are different demographics that may be on Facebook that may not be on TikTok or that may be on Instagram that may not be on Facebook. So you still have to look at those demographics even for social media.
Yeah, and then also, and something that's really cool that you do as well is you design the t-shirts. You see all these pop-up
I
shops.
do.
We got the big event in Jackson tomorrow at the St. Patty's Parade. There's going to be, I'll be willing to bet 30 off the top of my head, at least 30 vendors there. They're going to have their brands on. They're going to be wearing their brands, selling their products. So, talk about how that is effective because I think that's
Exactly.
something that's more effective now than ever.
So that it is with a lot of things that I do, not just t-shirts, even for the small businesses. I any of the little ad specialty items or giveaway items that they may have, your pens, your pencils, your cups, the tablecloth that they put on their table when they set up as a vendor somewhere, all those things, I can create those things for them, pretty much a one-stop shop, and not even that, even the people that will be attending that parade tomorrow. I've had so many people to come to me that I've had to make t-shirts for
Wow.
that event. And family vacations, people, that those things are getting ready to start up now. So I have family people that are going on family vacations. They want matching t-shirts, so I have to make those. Birthday parties, nowadays people get matching t-shirts for the kids' birthday parties. I'm able to do that. When Jackson State is playing, I'm able to make the t-shirts for the different games and things like this. So it's just a wide variety of things I'm able to do. Like I say, cups, pencils, pens, just all kind of things. Basically, if you could put a name on it, or some type of logo on it, I will definitely try to do it for you.
Yeah, and I know you probably had a lot for the Velma Jackson homecoming events as well. So I know that's always a big deal up here
Right,
as
I,
well.
I did. It is always a big deal. I love Velma Jackson. I've been doing homecoming t-shirts for Velma Jackson since I started. I started doing this. I started actually making t-shirts in 2017, and I've been making t-shirts for the different homecoming events for different classes since 2017. I'm always busy doing Velma Jackson homecoming and Jackson State homecoming. Are really my biggest seasons, and graduation.
Oh,
So even like the graduation stoves, the custom graduation stoves, I do those, the yard signs for the students, all those different things that they can get for graduation. It's a slight plug right now,
yeah. And we'll definitely
the
get the
family
information out
t-shirts
before we
for
get done here.
graduation.
Yeah, and but that's a good point about now that COVID's over, people are going out again. I'll go to a college football game, and there's literally lines of people setting up selling stuff, and that's a big market
Right.
now when it comes to figuring out how to market there. So that's a great point. Now I do have some questions from the students. I'll get to as many of these as I can. Um,
Okay.
I like this first one. This is Tadavian Smith. He's a member of our band here, and he
Okay.
asked, "How do you decide your work schedule when you're deciding your own hours?"
Um, Basically, I do my work schedule based on, I mean, what you have going on, the number of jobs that I have. If I have anything for as far as family or whatever, I'm gonna set basic hours that I give to the public anyway. Basic business hours that any other business will that I'll advertise to the public. But a lot of times I'm still working past those hours, or like I say, I'm available by phone. I may be at my child's school doing something for the school in the mornings, but I'm available by phone, so therefore, because I'm doing something personal in the morning, I'm working later in the evening. you know when I go back to it and sit down in front of my computer, I'm working later in the evening. Like I say, sometimes my workload is so much that I'm up 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning making shirts,
Wow.
or scheduling out social media posts or something. But especially really during my busy seasons, like I say, Jackson State homecoming, Velma Jackson homecoming, during those busy seasons, family reunions, I'm up 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning sometimes making shirts.
Wow, that's awesome. I like this one. This is a Layla Jones. She's a member of our volleyball team and our band here. She asked, "What
Okay.
is the most beneficial marketing technique that you have used or you have seen used?"
The most beneficial, hmm, that's a good question. Right now, I'm going to say the most beneficial to most people is going to be social media.
Yeah.
To be able to promote on social media, because so many people, you can capture so many people on social media. And not only that, even if it's somebody that's not on social media, they have family that's on social media. So when that family member see it, they can go back and tell, the then you have word of mouth. So I'm going to say right now, social media is going to be your most beneficial.
Absolutely. I like this one. This is Edward Flowers. And he asked, "Have you
Mhm.
ever been nervous or anxious about anything in your career? And how did you overcome those feelings?"
And I think I told you this last time. When my most anxious time in my career is when I have to talk to students. It is. That's whenever I have to go into a classroom, because I go sometimes to Northwest Rankin and I talk, because I want to make sure that whatever I tell a student, I want to make. I'm always worried that I'm gonna say the wrong thing, and I don't want them to get the wrong impression about being an entrepreneur or get the wrong impression about getting a degree or things like that. So I want to make, and children are so impressionable. So I always make sure that I'm setting a great example. So I'm always nervous before talking to students.
Absolutely. But that's why I always say when people are nervous about this, I say, look, you're only going to see me on the screen. So it's not like, I mean, a lot of people are seeing you
Right,
right now, but you don't see them. I like this one. This is RNA
right.
Harris, also a member of our volleyball team. And she asked, what was your biggest inspiration to go into business for yourself?
My biggest inspiration, again, I grew up, my parents were entrepreneurs. So I grew up with that. When I was growing up, going to Velma Jackson, and my parents had a convenience store in Kent. They closed it my senior year of high school, but still, my parents have several rental properties now, and so
Wow.
I've always been with that and helping them, assisting them with that, and so getting out into the workforce. Um, I'm a I tell people I'm spoiled, so I'm a daddy's girl. I'm a daddy's only child, So even with that, my dad, with all the different businesses he have, he always want to call on me to be able to help and do things like that. So it was hard for me to be able to work full time and help my parents run their business. So I had to recreate myself and find a business, that something that I love to do, on my own, but also being able to still help my parents with their business. So
Wow.
that was my motivation to go out and do business on my own, because I wanted to still be able to help my parents with their business, and be able to help them be successful with their business.
Absolutely. Well, I just got two more. This is Elijah Blackman, and
Okay.
he asked, how do you plan on furthering your business bigger in the future? And what is the toughest obstacle you would face in that challenge?
So what I do is I'm always looking for ways to grow. So I do continue education, and finding other ways to do marketing. For instance, I've been looking into getting into real estate. So sometimes you just have to reinvent yourself. And being in real estate, that's still marketing. I love marketing so much, and my friends will tell you that even in general conversation, a lot of times I'll see things in passing or something, and I'll start talking about marketing or how they should be able to market that different. So I'm always looking to reinvent myself. Even if, things don't pan out with the t-shirt business or things like that, I still want to be in some form of marketing, and I still want to work for myself. So like I say, right now I'm looking into real estate. So that's just another way of being staying in marketing.
Yeah, and then and honestly, if you're in real estate, you're basically an entrepreneur as well. I know
Right,
you work under a broker, but at the end of the day, you're all entrepreneurs, and I think that's I have a lot of kids tell me the same thing. I want to get into real estate, and I was like, well, you're basically an entrepreneur. You got to learn how to
right.
sell yourself along with the property. So
You do.
great, great field, but I think that's people need to understand that. All right, I got one
Right.
more. This
Okay.
I have this is Michaela Job, and she asked, what advice would you have for someone who was looking to get into marketing?
Do your research. Figure out exactly what about marketing that you like. Um, I always tell people, find something, like I say, find something that you wake up in the morning and you're excited to do. And so if you're interested in marketing, and I would love, anybody that's interested in marketing, I would love to sit down one on one and kind of talk to you and guide you in maybe what direction you want to go in marketing. But find what you love about, what is it about marketing that you like? And then look into that part of it, because like I say, marketing is so much more than graphic design or things like that. What do you like about marketing first and foremost?
Yeah, and the other thing is, and I can't believe I didn't mention this. We need a diverse group of people to get into this, especially in Mississippi. With
Yes,
the growing diversity of
yes,
our state, we're getting more and more immigrants in the Jackson area. We need as many
right,
diverse backgrounds in this as possible, because you're not just selling to one type of person. So if you're going to sell to those type
exactly,
of people, you need those people getting into the field. So there's a lot of
e-
opportunities in
exactly.
the marketing field for
So
everybody.
many opportunities. It is. It is. It's so many opportunities in marketing, like you say, and it's in so many different fields, so many different areas. For it's not just sales. Is any industry that you can go in, there's something dealing with marketing that you could do in those industries. And so just find what you love. That's all I can say is find what you love. Marketing is it because you have to, when you're marketing something, you have to be passionate about it. So you have to love to do it. So just find what you love and try to stick with it and grow it.
Yeah, now we're almost out of time, and we thank you so
Okay.
much for taking some time for us. But a couple of things. One, I think it's important. We both graduated Madison County Schools. You were 2 years
Mhm.
ahead of me, and I know your son's about to graduate from Ridgeland High, so you're a Madison County Schools parent,
Well,
and
no,
I'm sure you say this all the
my
time.
my son is actually we've moved,
Oh, that's right, you
unfortunately,
did
have
move. That's
moved to
right,
Rankin County.
but still,
He's yeah,
but you did have
right.
one that went
He's
to.
at
You did have
Northwest
one that
Rankin.
graduated from Ridgeland.
I had one that
Yeah,
graduated from Ridgeland. My youngest actually went to Ridgeland ninth, well, up until the 10th grade, and then we moved. And so now he's been at Northwest Rankin his 11th grade and 12th grade year,
I forgot
and
about
he's
that.
excelling, doing well.
Yeah, and I'm sure you would, you had kids come that go to Madison County schools, and we went to Madison County schools. But I think it's important. When we were coming through, we didn't get the things that they have in Madison County schools. They're getting the ACT for free during school.
Yes,
That was, when we were coming up, we had to get up at as the sun was coming up on a Saturday
yes,
after having a Friday night football game, and then going and waiting in line and
right,
taking it at Belhaven. So I think
right.
it's important, these kids understand the opportunities they have now and to make the most of them because we did not have that. And we were in the same
We
school district.
exactly. We did not have that. It's funny to me because even when my oldest was going through Ridgeland, the different classes, because if I'm not mistaken, there are like marketing classes, graphic design classes, and things that they're offered now in school. We didn't have that. Money management. Take those classes. I know my youngest took a money management class at Ridgeland. Um, I think that's what it was called. It's something dealing with that. But those are things that we didn't have, and we basically had to learn as adults. Once you got out into the world on how to manage money and things like that, those are opportunities I feel like these students should take while they're in school. If it's offered, it teach real world experiences while you're in school before you get into the real world. Because my oldest now is 24 years old, and he's like, I kind of want to go back to Ridgeland High. So he's experiencing every real world. So I say, take advantage of everything you can in those schools, like you say, especially Velma Jackson. A lot of people, because we did come from a rural area, they count us out sometimes. So I say, take advantage of everything you can while you're in school and all those different opportunities that are offered right now, so you can compete once you leave Velma Jackson or any of the Madison County schools.
Yeah, and that's a great segue to what I wanted to end with is that, you grew up walking these same hallways. Now, none of the teachers are still here, but you all grew up walking these same hallways, sitting in a lot of these same rooms in the same community. So you came from the same place that all these kids with me here now are at now. So
Right.
you become extremely successful. So obviously it's very possible. So even if they don't want to go into marketing, look, they're in Camden, you were in Camden, and you made something great of yourself. How can they prepare themselves now while they're at Velma Jackson to be just as successful as someone like you?
That is just what I said. Any opportunities that they can, those different classes that are offered, through the district, take advantage of those things. Even the different clubs and things that allow you to get out and get amongst other people and and things like that. One of my things, when I was growing up, and it's funny, and I tell people that when I was at Velma Jackson, um it wasn't very diverse at Velma Jackson at that time. So, what we saw was people like us all the time. So when you left school, it was a different environment, having to go in the classrooms with other people other than people that looked like you. It was a different thing. So I say, do as much as you can while you're in school. Learn as much as you can while you're there. Like I say, take advantage of the different classes, so you can prepare yourself for the real world.
Absolutely. Now, before we go, tell us where to find everything extra on social media to see all your products and all the things you're doing.
Everything extra I'm on Facebook as Everything Extra. Is at Everything Extra 2 on Facebook. On Instagram, I am on Instagram as at everything underscore extra two.
Awesome. Yeah. And all your products are on there. All the stuff you're doing is really cool to see. Again, we
All the
thank you
stuff
so
I'm
much
doing.
for joining us. Class of 1998, Velma Jackson alum, over there at the Mississippi Free Press,
That's right.
Erica Hines.
The great. That's right. The great class of 98.
Well, we thank you so much for
Thank
joining
you
us,
so
Erica
much for
Hines,
having me.
Velma Jackson alum. Talk to you soon, buddy.
All right. Thank you.
See ya.